your mind, people start thinking, oh my God, I'm getting rich. You are no richer than you were prior to that. You're not. You're not. I would challenge, I'm not kidding, for you boomers out there, if you think that you are rich because you have a portfolio, I would challenge you to this. If 20% of you, Monday morning, called up your broker and said, give me all of my money, liquidate my entire position, offset everything I have, and send me a check right now, I guarantee you if 20% of you did that on Monday morning, the laws would change. There would be an emergency. Fuck the TikTok ban, dude. They would shelve absolutely everything, and there would be an immediate session of Congress. The House would immediately vote, and it would probably be damn near unanimous to make it to where you couldn't take your money out, or if you do take your money out, then all the brokerages have to do all of the federal withholding. They have to hold everything, based on projected possible profits that you could have made. That's what I'm not kidding. That's what they would do. You think that money is yours? Try taking it out. Try it. Try taking all that money out and doing something with it. Try demand it all in cash and watch what happens. It's not there because they can't prop it back up fast enough. They would have to print a shit ton of money. They'd print probably trillions of dollars to shove that back into the market to prop all those prices back up. So, I mean, one of the fastest way. I mean, I guess if you demanded it all in cash, I suppose, that'd be a great way to go. A great way to make a point, maybe. But if you wanted to collapse the dollar, my idea is very simple. But it requires, would require a bunch of people also saying, hey, listen, we want to have the minimum wage raised, to like $750 an hour. That's not a joke. I'm being dead serious with that. You have to but that would collapse the economy. Yes, it would collapse the dollar, not the economy. Remember, the economy is just people. A market is people. A market is a slang term, by the way, for bankers to say, livestock. That's how they see you, because you're seen as livestock. You're seen as tax livestock and interest livestock, right? You give energy to bankers and politicians. That's it. It's a one-way transaction. They don't give anything back to you. That's why they're rich. Okay, rich people don't get rich by giving it back. They get rich by you giving them more than they give you. That's how it works. Okay, so you'd have to have raise minimum wage $750 an hour. If you did that, it would force. Now, for everybody out there, but that would ruin all the small businesses. No, it wouldn't. No, it wouldn't. It really wouldn't. It wouldn't ruin small businesses. True small businesses. True small businesses. Not some franchise that a doctor bought and then has never been inside that franchise. He just has a bunch of people working there. True small businesses where mom and pop work there, along with their kids or their family or extended family members, things like that. Those businesses will be just fine. They would. You say, why is that? Well, because what they would do is they'll just make all their employees shareholders. That gets around all the minimum wage laws. True story. Gets around all of it. So a true small business, for example, will be just fine, even if you did that. A true small business. Okay, now, again, all the people who pretend to be small businesses, but they're actually just glorified managers, which is a franchise. I've been over that. I did a whole video on franchising, and I tried explaining it, to people who don't understand that most of the mega franchises, vast majority of them, they don't give a shit if you make $1 out of that. They really don't. What they care about is their real estate holdings. That's what they give a shit about. You don't own the building. You don't own the name. You don't own any of the equipment in the building. You have to buy all of your shit from that company, and they set the prices. You don't own shit. You're not a business owner. You're a glorified manager. You're not a business owner. Sorry, I'm just hitting you with both barrels, but I mean, you're not business owners. You're a glorified manager for that company, and they got you to take the risk that they weren't willing to take. Serious. Imagine if every single Burger Douche franchise became corporate tomorrow morning. What would happen? It'd be a fucking nightmare. It'd be a disaster. They'd be gone in probably a year. For real. There's no way they can handle that, because they need you to take all that risk. They need you to keep, and of course, you ever look into how much it costs to start a Burger Douche franchise? How much money they want from you up front? It's millions of dollars. Don't tell me you're a small business if you've got millions of dollars. You're not a small business. No, you have millions of dollars, or you have access to millions of dollars. Most small businesses do not have access to millions of dollars. Vast majority of them. I know that you guys are all in love with these ridiculous stories about how, well, but so and so started off in their garage. Yes, in the $750,000 house at the end of a cul-de-sac, and their parents were already pretty well politically connected and fairly well off. That's not the same thing. That's not the same thing that started off in the fucking projects with nothing. Promise you. So, different perspective there. But if you want to get rid of the dollar, no, you raise that. What that would do is that would pretty much destroy all of the big employers. All of the big employers would be completely destroyed. You're like, well, but that would be horrible. No, it wouldn't be horrible, because those assets don't go away. They would just get sold off to you, me, anybody else. Any of the real small business owners would buy it all up and make them profitable again. And what that does is that means that you have, let's say, 50, 60 million small business owners, as opposed to 2,000 or 3,000 mega companies. What's easier to control, 2,000 or 3,000 mega companies or 50 million small businesses? For real. There's a reason why they want mega companies. Giant government, giant banking want giant companies. They want that because it's very easy to control that. All you have to do is just get a few CEOs to an island, get them in a compromising position, and now you own them. You don't have to, not a single share of stock changed hands. You now own them regardless, because now you have information. Information's worth way more than money. So that's how this game is played. And if you dismantle that entire system, then you end up with lots and lots and lots, tens of thousands and just millions of small businesses. That's what you would end up with, provided that people understood and they knew what to do and said, okay, well, now that the company's gone, I guess I'll just buy this equipment and I'll start doing something with this equipment that is a small business. And that's the way to think about it. That's how you have to think about this kind of stuff. Is, instead of like, well, but the big company does, well, you're going to find out that also most of that stuff only worked because it was subsidized. That's the other part of that. You'll also find out that most of these big businesses, most of these big companies, the only reason they could exist is because they were subsidized with counterfeit money. That's all the Fed is. It's just a giant counterfeiting organization. And all the people that are around it, it's just counterfeiting. It's just a big counterfeiting ring. That's all it is.